Alright guys, we're doing a third video here at Patty and John's place. All these are not going to go up today. It is still August 20th. It is Thursday. So probably two of the videos you're going to see today. And then, or what I'll probably do is I'll do one of their videos. I'll do a video from home. And then we'll just kind of over the next couple days we'll pop these up. But it's still the 20th of August as we do this video. So you may not see it on the 20th of August, but that's when we did it. So they have out here, you guys have seen my greenhouse at home. And so what they're doing here is they have this is the greenhouse that they're working on. And so let's talk about what you're going to do out here first, because I really like this idea that you were talking about.
We seen this online, another prepper, and we're going to take this off, and we're going to put about maybe this high. We're going to put wire, like a chicken wire,
But a finer, smaller, right? Okay.
And we're going to cover that right there, and then we're going to come out about 4 foot, make it so it has a slanted roof on it that we can open up, and we can put leaves and compost material. And the idea is when this is heating up, it's going to throw heat through the wire mesh
Into the greenhouse.
And they say 4 to 6 weeks for compost, that it'll take that long to break it down and help keep it warm. So I thought that's a really good idea. We're going to make the front so that we can actually take the board off it, or the plywood or whatever, and so John can come in with the tractor, scoop up the compost, which of course will go to our garden.
Which is a great idea.
Yep.
And then actually too, the other thing which you would want to think about is throwing some worms in there, because the worms are going to help break everything down and make that soil much richer and stuff like that as well.
Absolutely.
So in here you have your couple of different beds. So explain to them what you're going to be doing with this bed first.
Now this here we have when we built this, we built it with, we have 4 old windows. And we're going to put the 4 old windows on here, put them on hinges so that we can pick them up. It'll make a cold frame. So if I want to come into this one, I can just pick up this window, attach it up there, and then garden whatever I want in here. We planted a lot of cold, hardy crops in here, already getting ready for the winter.
Sure.
And so that will be a cold frame. On this side, it's going to be an actual hoop house. So we have yet to build the hoop house, but we're in the process. We do have the polycarbonate that's going to go on all the sides, and polycarbonate's going to go on the roof. So it'll be very, you'll get a lot of light.
Right.
The sun comes up over this way. This is east.
Okay.
And that's west. And this is our south border this way. So
what the whole idea is, guys, when you have your greenhouse, you're taking yourself to a different zone as far as growing goes. But when you do the cold frame or the hoop, now you're taking it to another level, another zone even further. So you're protecting the plants more. Again, up here in New York, we have to go with more in like the fall and winter time. It's got to be a hardier plant. So your kale, your cabbage, you can do carrots, your beets and stuff like that. You can grow those inside, but again, you just don't want to have it just in your greenhouse, but you have that extra layer of protection as well. So if you have an extraordinarily cold streak, which we do have a tendency to have up here, it makes all the difference in the world. It's going to help your crop survive that. And and again, those are all things, and I've talked about this many times, and I think it's really, really important, but I'm going to say it again. It's experimenting while it's not life and death, and learning what works and what doesn't work.
That's right.
Because when the time comes and it's life and death, you don't want to be so far behind the learning curve at that point that you're going, well, let me see if this works or if this doesn't work. You really want to have it set up so that you know what you're doing. You've been experimenting for possibly years, and and you're getting that skill set down. And I think that's really, really important. One of the things I did want to mention too, and their garden is all up over through here, and Patty and I were actually talking about this, and I had this happen, if you watch my videos a couple of years ago, I put in a whole bunch of tomatoes, anticipating I'm going to have all these tomatoes, and I'm going to do a lot of canning of the tomatoes, and I ended up getting some kind of a root rot or something, and I ended up with a grand total of 2 tomatoes that year.
Yeah.
Out of all those that I planted. So again, there's no guarantee year to year that you're going to get the same kind of yields, that the garden is going to do well, and all those type of things.
Right.
So, planning ahead, making sure you have a diversified garden, I think is really, really important. Having like a greenhouse like this, and here's the best part. They could put another one of these there. They could do another one there. They can add them all over the place if they wanted to. And so, and then you're not limited as far as what you can do. And it's going to give you more of an advantage because it takes you, again, to a different zone. Our growing season up here in Zone 6 is not that long. So any advantages that we can have with starting earlier, going later into the fall after we've had that first frost, it really does make a big difference. So we're gonna walk up. Want to walk up and show the garden here real quick? But again, always plan ahead. And like Patty had said, the one year they had the similar issue with tomatoes, that they ended up having to go out and buy a whole bunch of tomatoes in bulk to do canning, because again, canning is hugely important. I think it's a really good thing to do, and again, know what you're doing, working with stuff, and it really makes a difference. So obviously these are your beans.
Yep. This is kind of a new endeavor for us. This is the second year that we've done pole beans.
Okay.
And I love that because we started, like we used to have, raised beds down through the middle here.
Okay.
And we took them out so that we could take the tractor in and out.
Sure.
Because we found that we were wheelbarrowing a lot of stuff, and we said, no, we don't want to do that.
Right.
So we started putting these in, and this is really the same as a bed. Anything that you can get to grow vertically is wonderful.
Right.
And this was kind of cool. We originally had put these in with 2x12s.
Okay.
These beds. And they lasted maybe, 7-8 years.
Okay.
And when we decided to redo them, my husband said, well, why don't we try with some logs? And so we have all kinds of pine trees up behind us here.
Yep, all the pine trees, yep.
All the pine trees, and our son, which just lives up the road, has a sawmill, so we said, okay, let's try it. So I said, try to make it, do it like cut it out with the chainsaw, make it kind of the Lincoln log to hold it together.
Mm-hmm.
And then we filled it with good soil and compost and whatnot. And the garden, it just did great this year.
The garden, I know, it's amazing. This year's been perfect.
This is the first year, normally I stake my tomatoes, but because we had it, because we had put chips through here and chips through there, I didn't stake them this year. I thought it's really kind of trying something a little bit different,
Okay.
less work.
Right.
And so what we're doing is I'm just coming up here picking the tomatoes that are starting to turn a little orange, take them down and let them ripen down there to the house. And so far, it's worked out wonderful.
So what do you got over here?
These are Blue Hubbards.
Blue
right
Hubbards,
there.
okay.
Yeah. And you can see there, we started getting some, oh shoot, my mind went blank. It's like a mold on it.
Oh, okay.
And you can see the plants.
Yeah, that one, yep.
And so I think that's as far as that's going to get. They're stressed. You see the leaves? They're stressed.
Yep.
But these are our string beans here. The cabbage is doing well. But this might be interesting for your viewers. This year, what we did a little bit different with our potatoes, we tried something that we had seen on, I think it was Back to Reality.
Okay.
And we haven't harvested them yet, but they're really ready to harvest. So what we did was we literally went through and put the potatoes on the ground.
Okay.
Then we came in and we put hay on it.
Okay.
And as they started to grow up through, we added more hay. So again, we haven't checked the yields yet.
Right.
But it was kind of a new experiment. Virtually, like you can see weeds in here.
Yep.
But we have done no weeding at all.
Oh, well, that's not bad then, no.
No weeding. And I thought, well, it was certainly much easier, than having to come out and weed constantly.
Right.
So I'm excited about the thing that But I think this has been one of the best things, especially if you've got a limited space in how you're growing.
Sure.
If you do, these are actually hog panels.
Right. Yep. Yep.
You know, it's a 16-foot hog panel, and then you just put two of these stakes into the ground, and then he just wired them together. There's two on each end,
Okay.
and so it works out really nice.
That's very cool. Very, very cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
The other thing that I would encourage anybody to do is we have 2 beds that are asparagus beds.
Okay.
And the nice thing about asparagus or anything that's a perennial is that it comes up every year. So in the spring and, you know, now we've let it go to seed, but we get so much asparagus off this that we cut off every year. Our daughter lives here, so, you know, we share the asparagus between the 2 families.
Right. Right.
You know, but it's so nice growing things that come up every year.
Right.
You
It's
know?
less work.
Less work.
Yep.
Yeah.
So anyway, guys, I was going to show you, and I talked about it in the other video, that it's all family through here. So like this house is, you know, that's family. Over there's family. Another place up here. There's another couple places down over here, and it's all family. And that's I just think that that's an awesome thing, if you can do that. And you know, so but. Just wanted to kind of share, and like I said, this is how they do their garden. And the cool thing is, like she said, like this year they were doing an experiment. So they're going to try something different and see how it works. Now they don't know what their yield is going to be yet, but you know, again, when it's not an emergency situation and it's not a life and death situation, you have that luxury to be able to do experimentation. If you were doing this to survive and you had to have it to survive, you better find a tried and true method that works and stick with it.
Yep.
And the biggest thing too, and I've said this before too, but I'm going to say it again, is rotating your crops, guys. So like next year, they're not going to put their potatoes in the same spot next year. They'll put it in a different spot. And again, that's how it all really works. You find out what works, what doesn't work, and it's experimentation. And again, doing it now when it's not life and death is the best way to do it. Because like I said, when it becomes life and death, and if those crops don't come in and you were expecting them to come in to help you survive the winter, that's going to make winter a whole lot tougher. So anyway, once again, I'm going to jump off of here. We're already quite a few minutes into the video. So once again, Patty, thank you again for sharing this. Like here, I'm doing 3 videos just out at your property today. Now I got to go home and actually do some work. But so anyway, thank you so much for having me out here. I appreciate that, and sharing what you guys are doing.
Sure.
And sharing your garden and your greenhouse and the everything else as well. So remember, guys, once again, we are all in this together. That is important to remember. Also remember to hug and kiss the ones you love. Tell them every single day, tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life. I think it's hugely important to tell people that you care about every day how you feel. Also remember STD, step, thing, and day. One step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you are trying to accomplish, you can do it. The only person that's going to stop you from getting there is you. That's it. No one else can stop you. Stay focused, stay away from that negativity, and you're going to be fine. I will talk to you all later. Prepper Nurse 1, out for now.